What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got multiple things to cover here for you guys in this video. First, we have some breaking news here for you guys about former President Donald Trump. The affidavit has been unsealed here. Let's jump right in. Okay, as you can see here, just briefly here a couple hours ago, Mar-a-Lago affidavit, 184 classified documents recovered in January. Some of the White House documents that were sent to the National Archives in January appear to contain Trump's handwritten notes, court filings say. Also, we get several different things here for you guys. Also, you can read the unsealed Department of Justice's Trump warrant affidavit just came out here that says 184 classified documents found at Trump's residence. The Justice Department on Friday complied with the judge's order to release a redacted version of the affidavit that convinced leadership to approve a warrant to search former President Donald Trump's home. Its release comes after Judge Bruce Reinhart ordered the Justice Department to propose redactions to a document that the department argued a full release of would compromise their ongoing investigation. The affidavit here is 38 pages. You can kind of see it. You can look this up online if you want to read through it. I mean, it's 38 pages long here, and I'll just kind of give you guys a glance of this, and you can see here some stuff is redacted. As you can see here, you have some pages that are heavily redacted. Quoting moving trucks spotted at Mar-a-Lago, and you can see heavily redacted stuff here, and then you have some stuff here not redacted. And like you can read a segment here that says here, as I previously indicated, specifically the letter stated in relevant part, as I previously indicated to you, Mar-a-Lago does not include a secure location authorized for the storage of classified information. As such, it appears that since the time classified documents were removed from the secure facilities at the White House and moved to Mar-a-Lago on or around January 20th, 2021, they have not been handled in an appropriate manner or stored in an appropriate location. Now note that was after the January 6th event at the Capitol. Riot at the Capitol, whatever, attack at the Capitol, whatever you want to call it here, that he moved these documents to Mar-a-Lago. They have not been handled in an appropriate manner or stored at an appropriate location. Accordingly, we asked that the room at Mar-a-Lago where the documents had been stored be secured, and that all of the boxes that were moved from the White House to Mar-a-Lago, along with any other items in that room, be preserved in a room in their current condition until further notice. Another quote here says, there's probable cause to believe that the documents contain classified NDI and presidential records remain at the premises. You can see here, this breaking news here, the FBI affidavit filed prior to the search of former President Donald Trump's home reveals 184 classified documents, including several with Trump's apparent handwriting on them, that were kept at the Florida property after he left the White House. The new details contained in the affidavit underscore the high stakes and unprecedented nature of the criminal investigation into whether the former president and his aides took secret government papers and refused to return all of the material, even in the face of demands from senior law enforcement officials. The August 8th search of his home and his long-standing animus towards government, the Justice Department, says the investigation and search were necessary to prevent grave damage to national security. Some of the classifications they found were marked HCS, a classification of highly classified government information. Others related to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court and material meant not to be shared with foreign nations. Foreign nations, wow. Affidavits are detailed documents about an investigation that law enforcement officers submit to judges in hopes that they will approve their application for search warrants. In this case, they did. Probable cause, and the probable cause was there because they found the documents. It's not like they didn't find the documents. The sworn document typically contains key information about witnesses, why agents believe evidence of a crime can be found on certain properties or device, and an investigation steps taken prior to the search. It is unusual to make details of such an affidavit public, particularly during an ongoing investigations. But numerous media organizations and other parties have asked the document to be unsealed, citing extreme public interest in a case involving a former president who may run again in 2024. So let me know your thoughts here. Do you think this was a good idea to release this affidavit during an ongoing investigation of the former president who's the current frontrunner for the Republican Party? Do you think this will help Trump? Do you think this will hurt Trump? What do you think about the current state of this investigation? It's a big web, honestly. You know, the whole argument of whether they should have searched or not searched. I mean, they did find all this stuff. The whole argument of whether he should have had it or not. It's yeah. And now there's a question of if there still might be some more there. Yeah. And honestly, we're probably getting not. This is really just getting heated up. Now we just got this released. What might else more be released here in the next few days? And don't forget that Trump claims he needs the White House records back so he can eventually add them to his presidential library and release these to the public, which they're classified documents. Trump said, quote, "This Mar-a-Lago break-in and search and seizure was illegal and unconstitutional, and we are taking all actions necessary to get the documents back, which we would have given to them without the necessity of the despicable raid of my home." But now he says they're trying to get them back, which is, he said they would have given them to him, but now he says they're trying to get them back, which is contradictory. So that I can give them to the National Archives until they are required for the Donald J. Trump Presidential Library and Museum. They're highly classified documents. They're not going to give them back. They can't go to a library and a museum. I think that's part of the problem here with the disconnect, is that I guess this is maybe why he didn't want to give them to them for a long time, is he wants to keep them. He made this in a statement. These are highly classified documents. They can't be kept and made public for a library and a museum. And honestly, a lot of these statements are actually incriminating him more. These are highly classified documents, some of which can't even be left outside of a room. I mean, honestly, his lawyers should tell him to not even speak on the matter at all anymore. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but these are surely not documents that the general public can you can't just release these to a library and a museum and just show them to everybody. Let me know your thoughts here. Also, we have a key inflation meter that fell for the first time in 2 years The PCE inflation index dropped 0.1% in July. We just received this here. This is just one of the indexes here due to sinking gas prices. Because we have seen gas prices go down for like over 70 days now, which is good. We've seen gas go down. We need to continue to see it go down. We also have new GDP numbers that just came out that kind of confirm that we are in a recession. You can see here, it's official. The revised GDP numbers show the economy is definitely shrinking. So they revised the GDP numbers. They always do this. They kind of go over them, then they go over them, then they go over them again. And the GDP numbers were they went from 0.9, negative 0.9 to negative 0.6. But it still shows that the economy is negative. We have not had positive growth. We've had negative growth. You can see here the Department of Commerce revised the estimate of the GDP, the gross domestic product, basically the whole, how much the economy is producing, how much the economy is selling, how much everybody's buying, right? Finding similarly to July's estimate that the real GDP contracted in the second quarter of July, last 3 months. The revised estimate for the second quarter finds that the real GDP decreased annually at a rate of 0.6%, so negative 0.6%, which means the economy did not grow. It was actually negative. And so were the first 3 months of this year. So the first 6 months of this year were all negative growth, which most analysts would say that it officially means we're in a recession, even though it's just barely negative here. But we're seeing a lot of mixed reactions here because unemployment rate is so low. We're at a 50-year low of unemployment rate of only 3.5%. So this is where we're kind of getting an unusual, inflation's high. Inflation is really, really high, but unemployment is really, really low. A lot of that is because a lot of people have gone back to work to keep up with inflation. So, and also interest rates going higher and higher and higher. And in fact, the Fed going to be raising interest rates here again. So a lot of this is because in all of the past recent recessions, the Fed lowered interest rates to boost the economy. And so we're seeing a reverse kind of recession here this time around. It's a very abnormal recession. It's not typical. So in the past several recessions, like 2008, 2009, and 2001, and even 2020, which was really just hop skipping away not that long ago, right? The pandemic. We lowered interest rates then to boost the economy because we were in a recession. This time around, it's different. We're raising interest rates because of inflation, okay? And we've seen this with an overheated housing economy, an overheated car economy, car prices and home prices selling for way over their asking price or their MSRP in the case of cars, and inflation just out of control at 40-year highs. So interest rates are going up now to combat that, to try to bring those back down to normal. But unemployment is really, really low, which is one of the few good economic indicators that we have right now. Thankfully, we're also seeing gas go down, thank God, because it's sure a lot better to see gas go down for 70 days in a row than to see gas go up for 70 days in a row. The bad news there is that we're also seeing natural gas, which is different than like gasoline or diesel. Natural gas, a lot of people use natural gas to heat their homes with, is at a 14-year high. And people be like, why? What's the disparity there? And believe it or not, I hate to say this, a lot of people are like, Jimmy, you're crazy. But a lot of this has to do with Russia. Yeah, so Russia, a huge producer of natural gas over there, and they have cut off Europe from natural gas supply almost completely or pretty significantly there. And this has caused the price of natural gas to spike significantly, even though this really doesn't have anything to do with us in the US. It does, because if you've learned anything from watching my show, or if we've learned anything over the last couple years, it does affect us, because the minute Putin started putting 100,000 troops on the border of Ukraine, gas started spiking up. Okay, even though gas was kind of on the rise already, because inflation was kind of already on the rise already. That was just kind of a natural phenomenon coming out of the recession. And again, that kind of happened all around the world. If you watch my channel, you know that like gas in Europe was at $8, $9 a gallon. If you equate it to U.S. dollars, you know they have euros over there and stuff. But even gas in Canada was more money than here in the U.S. They were at like $6, maybe even close to $7 a gallon at one point. You know, sorry if you're in Canada, or I'm sorry if you're in California and you're paying, you know, but compared to the U.S. average here, they're much higher than us. But gas prices went up everywhere. Gas prices went up everywhere. But now that gas is coming down, the reverse is happening for natural gas because of the supply chain shortage, largely because of Russia has just clamped down and shut off a natural gas pipeline to most of Europe and says, you know what, we're just going to not supply it to you anymore. Now, Europe actually said that we don't want to have it from you anymore, but they were going to wean off it. Okay, they're taking steps to produce more, mitigate it themselves, produce more wind, solar, and nuclear, and also produce more themselves and kind of switch things over so that they're not using natural gas on their government side for like their power grids. You know, homes still need to use it because homes can't switch over that quickly. Homes can't switch over to nuclear. Some homes could switch over to solar, but I mean, not if you don't have the money. So all this stuff takes time. So this has caused the spike in natural gas. And unfortunately, it affects us because the price of natural gas is traded on a global scale, just like the price of gasoline is traded on a global scale. The price of oil is traded on a global scale. The price of oil for natural gas is a different price. It's the price of natural gas, the price of oil, the price of diesel. They're all separate prices, and unfortunately, they're global prices. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll keep you up to date here. You can click here to watch my newest video on Social Security raises of potentially $2,400 and new Social Security payment schedule. And you can click here to see my newest video on stimulus checks. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.